Hello, people. How are you today? It's another beautiful day here in Florida. I hope all is going well in your area of the country. Excuse me. But I just wanted to say a few words to you about. I don't know how many of you were actually following the African summit that was held in Washington, D.C. last week. But it was intriguing and very interesting, I thought. There were, someone pointed out, we weren't able to understand why the summit was held during a lame duck session of Congress, when in actuality, many of those senators would not be on any leadership because the Congress changes from Democrat to Republican in January. So why didn't he set that summit up for after the new Congress had convened? Interesting that he did not do that. I'm talking about President Biden and his people. But they had it anyway. So we'll see how much comes out of that. But the first conference that they had like this, the summit, it was in 2014 under President Obama. A lot of the African people, many who are outside of government, says not much was done after that particular summit. So we'll be following and seeing what happens here. But one of the things that kind of really intrigued me, during this conference, President Biden gave a speech, and in that speech, he talks about how America had brought slaves over from Africa to help build this country. Now that is an admission of wrong done there by the commander-in-chief and the leader of this country. He admits that the United States was wrong. And in essence, we still have lingering effects of slavery in this country today. And we are still in some type of slavery to a certain extent. We're not in a melting pot or anything like that. Our communities are in disarray throughout these United States. And I just wonder, why did he say that he was going to give $55 billion or $58 billion to the African countries from an investment standpoint of view? But I didn't hear the investment part. He said he was going to give them that. And his thing was to make up for the United States having gone and taken citizens off the continent of Africa and brought them to these United States to work as free labor, to provide that free labor and make this country wealthy And not only this country, but the world itself. Because slaves were also in South America. They took slaves to India, the British did. So we African people worked all over the world in some form or fashion as slaves. Not saying all of the African people throughout the world were slaves, but so many were. And it was all free labor. And a lot of people got wealthy off of this. The cotton industry in the South propelled the industry of garment industry in the North and in Europe and in England in particular. All of this was done for the edification of the whites. And that's why it gets me today when I hear whites saying they were not back there during that time. They didn't own any slaves. But as I've stated before, they are reaping the benefits of that. And they're still to this day. Whether they came over here, whether their parents, whether they are first generation or second or third generation in this country. Just look at all the Ukrainians that's been led in this country versus the Haitians that was turned around. 100,000 Ukrainians were let in, 25,000 Haitians were deported back to Haiti. Now, right now, I'm still focusing in this video on Biden making those statements, admitting to the theft, slaves. Maybe some Africans over there did participate in slavery, some of the chiefs or whatever. But they did not treat or have any idea that their brothers and sisters would be treated in the manner that they were treated here in these United States. Had no idea. But it happened. So right now, I want you to hear what Biden had to say, and we'll come back and talk a little more about it.
We the people reminds us that our country's greatest strength lies in just that, our people. Our people lie at the heart of the deep and profound connection that forever binds Africa and the United States together. We remember the stolen men and women and children were brought to our shores in chains, subjected to unimaginable cruelty. My nation's original sin was that period. We honor their descendants who for generations have helped build this country and propel it to higher heights, leading the charge, blazing new trails, and forging a better future for everyone in America.
Okay, now that you've heard that video, I would like to hear your comments on it, because I think I think reparations is due us before it is due to the African country. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do anything to help our brothers and sisters over there, and I think that we should help them. I know if I got a reparations of $300,000, from these United States treasury, I would most definitely invest that money in Africa. Because the better Africa becomes and the stronger they become, the states over there, the nations over there, the stronger they become, the better the diaspora of Africans throughout this world will be better off. We can only hope for that, because it's not just a matter of hoping, really. It's a matter of fact that this could happen. You look at other ethnic groups. Look at the Chinese. Look how strong China is. And you see how emboldened the Chinese are in this country. They weren't like that 30 or 40 years ago. But today, and the same thing with the Indians. How emboldened they are. And they were not like that 30 years ago, 40 years ago. But there was a lot of investment in India by the whites, by the British. Educational systems were set up there, and they were able to educate their young people. And this is what we must do to help Africa, because if Africa gets stronger, the blacks and the Africans in the diaspora will also get stronger and be recognized. And I think that we, as a people in these United States, black people, descendants of slaves, I think we should be out there marching day in and day out for reparations. We should be marching on the Capitol of Washington, D.C. We should be going to that mall, if not weekly or monthly, at least yearly, demanding reparations. They have admitted to their wrong, and we should be demanding our reparations. We deserve them. And anybody say that we don't, and they got a problem with it, we could take their portion, put it in a fund that can be used to build up our cities, create jobs, create businesses, create factories in those communities. And that's what we should do with those naysayers and talking heads who said they don't need any reparations. And then on top of that, what we should do, we should get rid of these here blacks in Congress who do not support reparations. That's what we should be out doing. We should form an organization, should be formed, or get on the back of an organization now that's already there who can adopt the reparation platform. And we should push for this. Shouldn't be any more marching every time somebody get shot. The more powerful you are as a group, the more powerful you'll be recognized with, and the less you will be shot. We can make these policemen accountable. I'm not going to say, I just put this one thing in your head. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That's what the Old Testament said. Now you interpret that any way that you want to. But people have to be accountable for their actions, especially when it's intentional and satanic, demonic. They should be accountable. And the more powerful you are, you can make them accountable for their action. So let me hear your comments. Let me hear what your thoughts are on this subject of reparations. Let me see, hear you, write your comments out. Ask me any question. You can. My email will be at the bottom of this. You can email me. And also subscribe to this channel and share it. We got to reach the most influential people in our community, in our race in this country, who can implement what I'm talking about here now. And they must take, and we must hold them accountable. Those leaders that we elect to political office, we must hold them accountable. Have a great day.